Ladies and gentlemen, today we got a big blog post from Activision, Infinity Ward, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Essentially, what this blog post is it reveals everything that is going to be in the game at launch for multiplayer. There's some things that it does exclude, like leveling and progression, how that is going to work. I'm assuming we're going to be getting a blog post on that tomorrow, so stay tuned tomorrow for that. But as far as what is inside of this one, we have the maps, we have the different types of game modes, all of the different game modes, all of the different field upgrades, all of the different kill streaks, everything like that. And essentially what we're going to be doing in this video is going over that blog post, discussing what is coming at launch and everything that you can actually expect. And this is directly from the source. This is not leaks. This is everything that is in the game at launch. But before we dive into that, I first have to tell you about today's video sponsor. Have you ever thought about walking around and being able to play a AAA game at any time right in your pocket with over 600 champions, which you can play various different raid bosses, dungeon runs, or PvP arena matches? Well, that is why today's video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, which you can download for free by either clicking the link in the description or scanning the QR code on screen at any time throughout this. Personally, I've been playing Raid for a while now, and here are a couple of my favorite champions that I've been using. First of all, we have Tatura Rhymehide, and he is essentially your guide for getting through the Hydra or Doom Tower. He can veil your entire team, increase their defenses, and put out blocking debuffs. On top of that, he is a bear with giant horns, and who doesn't want to play a character like that? The second character we have is Jintro. First of all, he's a samurai, and he is very focused on one thing and one thing alone. That thing is fighting one individual character for a long time. He does this with a specific skill called Oni's Rage. And essentially, when you use this skill, when it hits for the fourth time, it doesn't just hit once, it hits 5 times, dealing massive damage. And right now, Raid is running an amazing trick-or-treat promotion for Halloween where new players can win a bunch of real-life and in-game prizes, including $1,000 Amazon gift cards and some of the best epic and legendary Halloween champions in Raid. Anyway, it is free and it is super easy. All you need is your Raid player ID. Just download Raid with my link in the description and head over to trickortreat.polarium.com and enter your details. When you spin the wheel, you get your prize. This event runs from October 15th to November 5th, and once it's over, so make sure you're fast. There's never been a better time to get started playing Raid. If you click my link down in the description or use the QR code that's been on screen the whole time, you're immediately going to get a starter pack in your inbox worth $30. So check them out, link down in the description, QR code on screen, and thank you Raid for sponsoring the video. So here we are, here's the blog post. It is titled Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Overview, everything available at launch. It doesn't really go over everything. It doesn't talk about camos. It doesn't give you all of the maps, but I will give you all of the maps anyway. On top of that, it doesn't talk about weapon leveling and progression, but it talks about everything else. So it starts off with game modes here. It starts off by saying core map modes, which are the 6v6 modes. It goes into all of them in depth. I'm going to briefly go over them because I don't think a lot of them need that much explanation. But we have free for all, followed up by team deathmatch. They do say that the first team to 75 eliminations win. It's not 100 currently in this game. We also have domination, which is basically your A, B, C flags. We've seen that in like every Call of Duty game ever. Hardpoint, this is followed up by headquarters. So headquarters is kind of like hardpoint. However, once one team takes the headquarters, that team who has the headquarters does not respawn. We've seen this in many Call of Duty games as well. We have control. Again, this is one of those competitive modes where it gives you 2 different areas that your team attacking has to capture, and then one team has to defend it. Each team has 30 lives. So it's kind of like a mixture of headquarters, domination, and on top of that, a non-respawn mode like search and destroy, all combined together. It's a good mode in my opinion. We also have prisoner rescue. This was a mode that we saw inside the beta. Basically, it's like search and destroy, but with hostages instead of bomb sites. This is followed up by knockout. This is just a non-respawn game mode where the idea of the game is eliminate all the enemy players and have them not eliminate you. You can also revive your teammates. After this, you have search and destroy. This is one of my favorite game modes and many people's favorite game modes in every Call of Duty. Non-respawn game mode, you have 6 players on a team. Your job is to either eliminate the enemy team or plant the bomb and have it explode, or to stop the other team from doing that. This then talks about battle maps. It says up to 32v32. So this will be dependent on the map, whether it's 32v32 or 18v18 or whatever it may be. But there's different types of these battle maps. So first of all, we just have the ground war map, which is a supersized version of domination, including vehicles, and the first team to earn 250 points wins. So just think big domination. After this, we have Ground War Invasion. This one says a massive chaotic battle with a mix of players and AI fighting alongside each other. Utilize vehicles, kill streaks, and the first team to 2,000 points wins. You get points for eliminating enemies. We also saw that in the beta as well. Now, they also talk about like some general mode and playlist notes, and you'll kind of see what I mean by this as we dive into it. So the first thing they say is we have featured modes. Featured game modes changing regularly. Generally, they change every single week, with playlists often focused on new maps or modes or variation of standard maps and modes. So we've seen this before with like shipment 24/7 or an individual map 24/7. That is your featured mode. After this, they also say that they have quick play. This basically just throws you into any game mode, fastest way to get into a mode. It could throw you into search and destroy, or it could throw you into something else completely. One thing that is interesting here is one game mode that they did not list on here is kill confirmed, but this picture here is clearly of kill confirmed. You're picking up dog tags, so I don't understand why it's not in the blog, but I would assume it's coming if it's in that picture, or maybe they're waiting for season 1. I don't know, but it's really weird. After this, we have something new. It is called Tier 1, and essentially this is hardcore mode. I'll read this one because it's a little bit different. A Tier 1 playlist is designated within playlist name and offers more challenging experience compared to traditional multiplayer. Operators have less health, limited HUD elements, and friendly fire is on. These elements are consistent in all game modes and support Tier 1 variant. In other words, for every game mode that is in the game, you can play hardcore, except they're not calling it hardcore, they're calling it Tier 1. And then of course we have third person as well. This one has received a few changes. So if you're using like a red dot on your weapon, you're not actually going to scope in like we saw in the beta, but I believe it's if you're using like more than like a 3x scope, then you will. So sniper rifles will be able to scope in. Other than that, you're just in third person mode. At least that is what it's been from leaks. And of course, this will be in the game as well at launch. Now, it then goes in to talk about maps specifically, and it basically core maps and battle maps. They list off the locations where the maps are. So we have Al Mazrah, we have Las Almas, and then we have the rest of the world. Now, they don't actually list out all of the different maps, so I will give them to you. Here they are on screen. I have a completely separate video of about that. I will link it at the end of the video if you want an in-depth description of what all of these maps are. But as for right now, these are all the maps. So then we have perk packages, and essentially a lot of people wanted to see these change after the beta, but they did not. So you start out with 2 perks, and then you earn a bonus perk, and then your 4th perk you unlock. It's called your ultimate perk, and it's the final one you unlock. You get score, you get time towards your different perks. Basically works like a field upgrade, but with perks. Now, as far as what all the perks are, I'm not going to go over in depth what all of these are. Just read them out, go over a couple descriptions, and talk about one thing at the end. So all our base perks, we have Overkill, Double Time, Battle Hardened, which is reduces the effects of flash stuns, EMPs, things like that. Scavenger, Bomb Squad, which you take reduced damage from non-kill streak explosives. So in other words, things like grenades. Tracker, which you can see enemy footsteps. Strong Arm, you can throw equipment further. And finally, an Extra Tactical, which obviously gives you an extra tactical. After this, bonus perks. So these are your second tier of perks that you have to earn these over time. You have Resupply, which gives you an additional lethal and recharges your equipment. You have Spotter, which you can spot enemy equipment through walls, and you can even hack it, which is pretty cool. Cold-Blooded, Fast Hands, which allows you to reload faster. Hardline, reduce the cost of kill streaks by 1 kill or 125 score. And finally, Focus, which is reduced flinch. I love that perk. Glad to see that return. After this, your ultimate perks. So these are your top tier perks, the best ones in the game. You have High Alert, which your vision pulses if someone's looking at you. Ghost, this one I am going to talk about, is you're undetectable by UAVs, portable radars, and heartbeat sensors. Does not say anything about not moving or anything like that, which I personally don't like. I hope to see that change. They did write in the blog post that some of these things may change after launch, after they get player feedback. So we'll have to wait and see. The next perk was moved from tier 2 to tier 3, which is Quick Fix, which allows you to regen your health immediately after eliminating a player or upon capturing a flag, which I always like. Then you have Overclock, which allows you to have an additional field upgrade stored and your field upgrade charges 40% faster. Then we have Survivor, which is basically Last Stand without a gun. Bird's Eye, which makes your minimap view wider. And on top of that, it appears as though if you call in a UAV, it'll actually show you the little Dorito with the location or direction that the enemy is looking, which is pretty cool. And basically it says you unlock perk packages at rank 4 and you can personalize them for yourself. So all of those are pretty much what we saw in the beta. Nothing too new there, but that's everything that is at launch. Then we have field upgrades. It says at rank 45, you'll get the option to equip 2 field upgrades at the cost of a slower recharge on each. So that's kind of something that we saw back in Modern Warfare 2019. Then it goes into the various different ones. I'm not going to go in depth with these. You have your tactical camera. That's the camera that you can put on wall and spot people. Inflatable decoy, it pops up and looks like a person. You have the DDoS attack, which disables enemies' electronics in front of you once you call it in. You have deployable cover. We saw that in Modern Warfare 2019. Trophy system, again, pretty straightforward. Dead silence. I wish this was a perk. It is a field upgrade, just like Modern Warfare 2019. Munition box gives you ammo. Loadout drop. This is, you call in a crate and your teammates can use it. I don't see a point of this in multiplayer. We'll just run scavenger if you're going to do this. I don't understand why this is there in multiplayer. It's seemingly just more so for Warzone or maybe even DMZ. Portable radar gives you a little bit of a radar on a small portion of the map. Tactical insertion, we've seen that in many Call of Duties. Battle rage, it basically gives you an adrenaline rush and your health regenerates more quickly. Your tactical sprint is constantly refreshed. Basically, you're taking adrenaline here and your character goes wild. I like this one. I think it's a cool addition. After this, we have a recon drone. That one is very straightforward. Smoke airdrop. I think that's a new one. I don't think that was in the beta. Call in a line of drones to deploy a smoke wall at a targeted location. A sniper's nightmare unless they have the means to see through it. Unless they have a thermal scope, in other words. We also have suppression mine. We saw this one as well. Anti-armor rounds. So this is good against body armor and on top of that vehicles, things like that. This is something that'll be much more interesting in DMZ because with armored AI and things like that, like we saw in the campaign, this will be much more useful. I don't see a big point of it in multiplayer really whatsoever. Then we have our kill streaks. As far as our kill streaks go, we're going to quickly go through these. The 4 kills or 500 score, you have a UAV and a bomb drone. Bomb drone, you can go and blow it up at people. UAV is a UAV. At 5 kills or 625 score, we have a counter UAV, cluster mine, or care package. All of those I think are relatively straightforward. 6 kills or 750 score, you have precision airstrike, cruise missile, mortar strike. All of those were in the beta. I'm not going to go over those. 7 kills or 875 score, you got a sentry gun or an SAE, basically a precision airstrike. Then we have 8 kills or 1000 score. You have your VTOL jet, Overwatch Helo, or your Wheelson. All of these we have seen before, not too much to go over there. 10 kills or 1250 score. You have Stealth Bomber, Chopper Gunner, and Emergency Airdrop. Emergency Airdrop is like care packages with multiple different care packages. Then we have our 12 kills or 1500 score, Gunship or Advanced UAV. Again, AC-130 or Advanced UAV. And then 15 kills, you have your Juggernaut or 1875 score. As far as these go, I believe we had all of those in the beta. Maybe you couldn't use all of them, but we could see all of them there, so really nothing new. They then go into ledge hanging and aquatic maneuvers, swimming, movement, things like that. And then they state that it launches on October 28th. So honestly, not a lot new there that we didn't already know from the beta, but I thought I would keep you filled in with everything that they have released and everything they have coming out. This is everything at launch. They didn't state the maps, they didn't state the leveling and weapon leveling and things like that progression-wise, nor did they state all of the weapons that were going to be in the game. So over the next 2 days, I'm guessing we will probably get blog posts with all of those things, and when we do, I will keep you guys updated. I probably have another video coming out today, so stay tuned for that. But as always, if you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, turn notifications on to stay up to date. Let me know what you think down in the comments. As always though, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making